Hey everyone, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. First off, I'm very sorry for the lack of videos and reviews from my side. I've just been a little busy at work. So finally, I got some free time and I was able to see the movie Iratta on Netflix. And my god, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Written and directed by Rohit MG Krishnan. Iratta is a very emotional suspense thriller that starts off with three gunshots and ends with well, it ends with a bang, to say the least. But it's a different kind of bang. It's the kind that just disturbs and shocks you and stays with you after the movie. So I mean, it's been a day for me and I'm still thinking about that climax. It's like but I don't want to give anything away. So like I said, the movie starts off with three gunshot wounds. A police officer is murdered and there is a investigation surrounding the murder, and it's a case of whodunit, but there's a lot more story, there's a lot more layers to it, there's a lot more emotional story and background and context to it. But the movie is under 2 hours. I think it's about 1 hour 40 minutes, 1 hour 50 minutes max, but it packs such an emotional punch. And it's not just the climax I'm talking about, the overall movie. There's this gut-wrenching emotional wallop to it. I personally, I'm someone who does not like tragedy. Every time I see a tragedy, for me that story is left incomplete. There are very few movies, in my opinion, that genuinely deserves a tragic ending, because that certain stories does not make sense unless that tragedy kind of completes the story. For example, Kiridam or Akashadut. These movies, when you look at it, happy ending for various reasons does not suit it. It's sort of that movie that starts off from a bright place and ends in a very dark place. So the tragedy in those movies, it makes sense because that's what the story is about, that's where it's leading to. Now Iratta is a movie also that comes in that genre, because I feel like the tragedy in the movie makes sense. There is an arc to it. When the movie begins, there is a story arc that's established, and that story arc is kind of concluded at the very end. The very end, before the end and the end credits come out, that complete arc is concluded over there. Now I have a very sincere request to everyone who's watching. In the past, every time when I try to do a non-spoiler review, some people have come and written the actual spoiler, what happens in this movie. They write in the comments. So I'm intentionally being vague with the details because I genuinely don't want to give the suspense away. There is a suspense, there is a, like I said, there's a lot of stuff left in the story to be uncovered. So my honest request is, if you want to discuss or if you want to share your thoughts and opinion, do so, but try to keep it spoiler free. Use examples, basically don't give away the information, because I think everyone who watches this movie, that ending, that gives them, how do I say this, it's not exactly a happy ending. So it's not a very exciting thriller. It's not the ending does not really excite you and thrill you. That's not what the movie is about. However, the suspense and gives that completion to the story. So that's really the USP of this movie, that emotional conclusion that gives the story the complete a 180 or entire circle coming together, that feeling or that experience, that's what the story about, that's what this movie is about. This entire movie is an experience of a story that goes through certain dips and ups. Well, very few ups, mostly dips, but how these dips and how these situations and things like that affect certain people, and all of which leads to this sad climax, I guess. Now it would be criminal of me to not state how awesome Joju is in the role of these two twins, Pramod and Vinod. The way he plays these characters, they genuinely feel like two different personalities or two different individuals. Pramod is the higher ranking police officer, while Vinod is the junior assistant sub inspector, I believe. He's the ASI, I think. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Pramod is a little more mature, a little more careful and diligent with his words, with his actions. There is some background story with respect to both characters on how they were raised, and it definitely has an impact on both of their lives also. So it's an interesting way that they've written these characters. There is an origin behind both of them to explain why both of them are the way they are. Like I said, Pramod is a little more reserved, a little more quiet, a little more dignified, like I said, a senior ranking police officer and things like that. Vinod, on the other hand, is a little more harsh, a little more crass. He's not exactly a good guy per se. So we got this two extremes, with these characters, and it's not that they have, they look very different. But it's just the way Joju George plays these characters. They genuinely feel like two different individuals. It's not exactly brotherly love. Also, there are issues between these characters. So what I was really impressed is that movie with hardly 2 hour runtime. Like I said, it's about 1 hour 50 minutes. This movie has a lot of emotional depth to it, and the story and the characters. There is a lot of depth, a lot to explore. I was genuinely surprised, how much they covered with the story, the areas they went into. So hats off to writer Rohit MG Krishnan. He did a phenomenal job. Joju George, again, a true masterclass. I want to say, this is one of his best performances, because I've seen a couple. Definitely Joseph, Pornji Marim Jose. I've enjoyed his performances over there. Even certain movies that didn't really do well at the box office, I think Joju George always comes in and he gives something extra. He's just one of those actors who brings in an additional layer to whatever character he's playing. Finally, coming to the movie itself, like I said, it is it's not pretty. But it's just that kind of a story. It's definitely one of those stories that will stay with you for years to come. Like right now, I talked about Kiridam and Akashadutta. Iratta is going to be that movie that people will talk about even 10 or 20 years from now. It's just one of those movies. Tragic, even heart-wrenching, but it's just the way it is, and I have to say it's almost perfect the way they've written it, the kind of story it is, the kind of character it is. This movie is definitely for adults. Like I said, the content, the topic, sometimes the use of certain language and things like that, I wouldn't recommend it for at least kids below the age of 16. This is definitely for adults even above 16. I definitely would recommend it to viewers above the age of 18. That's what I think, because it deals with certain tough topics, and the way it's presented, there is something raw about it. So definitely I would still say that it's for adults, but it's definitely a very unique kind of movie. For my rating, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. It's an emotional suspense thriller that leaves you emotionally drained by the end, but it delivers a very unique movie and story experience that will stay with you for the rest of your life, along with a masterclass performance by Joju George that shouldn't be missed. That's it for my review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but please keep it spoiler free. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon, and of course subscribe to our channel for more reviews and videos like this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.